How's it going? And welcome back to the couch. We're not wandering around the local woods this week. It's been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
But we're back in here, and the topic this week is going to be bike rallies. But first of all, which I'm going to try to timestamp in the. Yeah, can I do that?
It's advanced YouTubery right there. I don't know if you can handle it.
Maybe. It might be in the comments, so you can like skip past the letters of the intro and stuff if you want to and get straight to us meandering about bike rallies.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really trust my technological...
No, I don't trust your patience. I think you'll try to do it once and be like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to post the video. So this might get cut out of the intro just so you don't look like a mug.
Yeah.
So carrying on.
Yeah, first of all, letters. Readers' letters.
That have been mailed to us through the post. Handwritten.
I'm so old. So we've had a few, and one of the ones that came in from our one that we were talking about, what was it, Camping Essentials, or whatever
Touring
that was?
Essentials.
Touring Essentials, yeah. Red Fog and the Melv have written in and asked if we can do a look at our camping gear.
Luggage.
Luggage
tour.
So a tour of our luggage and a look around all the luggage that we take.
And probably how we put it on the bikes, because I feel like our methods of putting luggage on the bike, like how I put my tent on the bike, I feel like is really old school.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to do a video of you loading your bike, because you carry the big flat tent.
I'm the pack mule for sure.
All the awkward shit.
All the awkward shit, like our tall camping chairs, our circular tent, usually a heavy bag of tools.
Yeah.
Like that all ends up going on my bike.
Because you got all that torque.
I got all that torque, baby. Got all the torque.
Torque for days.
And you're a lazy
bike.
fucker, and you just make me do it.
You do so well with it. You do so well. I'm so proud of you carrying all that shit. It makes me so happy. You're the greatest, baby.
Right.
And
we will do that. By the way, we will do a luggage tour. It's about -4 degrees in England right now. I have no interest in going out and loading my bike when we're not going anywhere and it's freezing. But I think that would be fun. And also to talk about our panniers, because we've gone through several iterations of our panniers.
Yeah, we do.
Love the ones that we have now. So we will do that. We'll definitely roll the bikes out.
Yeah.
And break our tiny hearts while we load them, because we haven't been on tour for so long. But I think that would still be a really fun video to do.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be great to see that going together. Yeah, it's going to suck loading the bikes and not being able to go anywhere. That's going to be difficult.
We might get a bit grouchy in that. Fucking luggage goes on, all right? Christ.
Fuck the tent and the chairs.
This is how you do it. Happy now? Okay, bye. Yeah, but we'll do it for you, because we love you guys.
Yes, for all our hundreds and hundreds
thousands
of
viewer
of
base.
fans.
Just for you.
And the last one, Tomo wrote in. Good friend of ours, Tomo.
Hi, Tomo in the Falklands.
Tomo.
Or where the hell you are right now. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah, greetings to the Falklands. Can't wait for you to be back in the UK, dude.
So we can't see you from the UK instead of not being able to see you from a million miles
Yeah,
away.
we can zoom you while you're in the UK instead of zooming you when you're in the Falklands, you poor sod. Is it good? Oh, actually, it's better over there.
Yeah, he's having a better time than we are.
I think Tomo in the Falklands.
Okay, change. Fuck you, Tomo.
yeah, fuck you, Tomo, with your no social distancing.
Yeah.
That bastard sent us pictures of him in the pub having a fucking beer with the lads.
On New Year's. You got to have a New Year's party, twat.
Dick.
Don't even read out his letters.
No, fuck Tomo. Douche. So Tomo says he's got a problem with his bike setup or something. Apparently, there's something that happens that causes him to be late. It gets him lost. Regularly changes direction as they're going down the road. It is generally a bane of his touring existence, and it's known as a Melv.
Don't get one of those. If you get one of those, you're sunk, man.
Yeah, he's asked what he can do about it. So, to be honest, whenever I encounter a wild Melv, I always, whenever you leave the house, in case you're in a Melv area, I recommend carrying at least 2 granola bars and a hippie blanket, because they're a great distraction against a Melv. You can like throw them and then make your escape while the Melv is running after them.
Or if you can carry with you rusty beetle parts.
Oh yes.
And just kind of toss them out into the wild. You can see them still scurry after them, and then you can run away.
But could you like hide them in the grass and they'll snuffle after them?
Yeah, it's sort of like a rooting maneuver, like a pig after a truffle.
So yeah, I think that's our advice.
Get an old Volkswagen Beetle like headlight or something, Tomo. Put it on the back of your bike, and if a Melv infection starts to go a little bit rampant, just chuck it a good fair distance and then make your getaway.
Yeah, that should do it. See how that works out and let us
Report
know.
back.
Yeah. So on to the subject of the day. Oh, shout out to poor old who just had his bike. Jim.
Thinking of you, Jim.
Yeah, big shout out to Jim. Just had his bike nicked last night. I think most of us have been there at some point. That really sucks, dude. We hope you find it and get back on 2 wheels again soon. So today we're talking about bike rallies, just touching on the point.
Yep.
And I think one of the most interesting things about bike rallies that we can talk about is a fairly unique experience that Lee had. Lee went to an all-ladies or all-women's motorbike rally. So it's exclusive for ladies, and we're going to come on to talk about that, and also just rallies in general and our opinions of them and our experiences with them. I can't remember where my first one. Yeah, I do actually. My first one was at
in 1912, right?
Yes, yeah, we all rode our penny farthings into this one.
It was a steam-powered only newfangled motorcycle exhibition.
Oh yes. Oh, you should have seen the shoveling coal into them there was. So my first one was at MFN. I don't particularly like the people that own and run MFN, to be honest. It might have changed now, maybe they're cool now, but a million years ago when I went, they weren't cool at all and they were just awful. But yeah, my first one was there. I thought it was pretty cool. It was all very new. It's extremely small. There were probably, it was a rat bike one, and there were, I don't know, a couple of hundred people at the absolute most. Yeah, it was a great way. I really like the bike ride thing for a great way to meet new people that are into something that I didn't really know that many people that were into.
And it's kind of a secured environment to have a 3-day party.
Yeah.
You know, it's like having a rager that's kind of all laid on, and you can pretty much bank on the crowd that's going to be there is more or less your crowd.
Yeah.
It'd just be like going to, other... like people go on weekend retreats and do yoga and stuff, and it's kind of like that's what you're signing up for. That's your crowd. Those are the people who are going to be there,
exactly,
and it fits that niche in a party environment with all of the fun things that everyone wants to do to get away from their lives and have a good time.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
I think if I had gone to a bike rally when I was that age, at that age I was living in America when I was in my early 20s, and I hadn't really discovered biking at all yet. I'd been on the back of a couple of guys' bikes, but I think if I had been to a rally at that age, I would have loved it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think I would have totally dug it. Like, this is great. There's bikes all over the place. You get to wander around and look at them, and that's really interesting. And there's loud music, and I do like Journey. And that kind of...
I think you would have got on way better with some of the music choices that I've heard at these rallies over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's standard rock and roll party music that everyone can sing along to when you're good and shithouse wasted, and have a good belt out to some freaking AC/DC or whatever.
Yeah.
And just be with people that aren't going to judge you for being a biker. You can wear your jacket, you got all your shit, and you can see other people. I think I really would have dug it at that age.
Yeah, so when was your first one?
So my first rally was, again, around about 5 years ago. And what was it called? Do you remember what it was called? They don't do it anymore.
It was a Robin Hood rally, I think, was it?
No, it had Yosemite Sam.
The Rebel Rally.
The Rebel Rally.
Yeah.
That was my first like proper rally that I went to. And I enjoyed it because it was so new. It was really novel. I was meeting a lot of new people. I hadn't really been around that many motorcycles before, and just watching, 50 motorcycles ride in and all park up and get to walk around and look at them was really awesome.
Cool.
But the thing about that rally that was great, and that I actually haven't felt like has been replicated as well since, was the silly games.
Yes, yeah.
That's one thing we haven't talked about yet that I think is going out of fashion with rallies.
It seems to be.
It seems to be, but was one of my favorite memories from that first rally. And if I could go to that rally again, I would. They've stopped doing it, but they did really stupid silly games. Like, people played there was some tug of war. There was like, you put whipped cream on your face and then to throw Cheetos at somebody. There was like, and then they do motorcycle based silly games like slow races where, two people on motorcycles are trying to ride the slowest and see who gets there last.
I love that stuff.
I love that.
On like a Saturday afternoon where you're meandering around with nothing much to do. The music and stuff hasn't come on yet. You've slept off your hangover and everything, and you just want something to do. Silly games are a great way to lift the mood and make an arse of yourself in front of everybody, which I love.
So that was my first rally, and that's also when I had my Rally Virgin experience.
Yes, so there's a bit of a tradition with rallies, as there is with a lot of other things, that when you're new, what do you guys call this? Hazing, is it?
Hazing, yeah.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
Where do you do hazing normally?
Fraternities.
Fraternities, that's
so
like a college thing.
So if you wanted to join a fraternity, you'd be what's called a pledge. And then when you're ready to transition from being a pledge to being a member, you get hazed. And it's sort of like a rite of passage.
Right.
So there's been a lot of bad stuff in the press about hazing over the years because some people take it to a level that's
they went a bit extreme with that.
But there's also a lot of hazing that's just funny. Like, I knew some guys who got hazed by, they got blindfolded and were in like their underwear, and all the guys told them they had to walk across broken glass to get to prove it or whatever. They push a bunch of Doritos on the floor. So that first step you take, you're like, holy shit, they're gonna make me do this, and it's nothing. So, but my back to bike rallies, at my first bike rally, I kind of had a hazing ritual to induct me into the brethren of rallydom.
Yeah. What was that? You sort of make up on the spot. Your friends will make this stuff up.
Your friends. Your friends will make it up for you. I was de-virginized from my rally experience by you, who had not been with for very long.
Yeah, and we haven't known each other very long enough.
Your friends, most of which I had never met before this day. You bought me a t-shirt that said Rally Virgin on it so that everybody there knew. And I'm trying to kind of like impress this guy that I'm dating and like...
And I said to you, are you up for it? Because I described what it was to you. You didn't like go in blind. So they're going to like chuck stuff on you. And and you were like, I want the full experience. I'm missing big balls.
You're going to do it. And I don't regret it at all. I thought it was a blast. And then you put me in the stocks.
Yeah, there were some wooden stocks there for the Rally Virgins set up,
And dumped a pot, actually, of just
huge
foul shit on my head. I think there were eggs in it and dirty water and...
The way we've traditionally done it the way I've traditionally seen it done, and we did it on this occasion, was to go around everybody that's sitting around the tents and stuff and ask them if they've got a spare can of food. Or a couple of eggs or something from their
beer.
Food
There's
kit.
definitely beer in it.
Yeah, and you dump it all into a big bowl, cans of beans, cans of tomatoes, soup, all this other stuff, stir it all up with a couple of eggs, and then it goes over the head of the Rally Virgin.
Maybe we can put a picture, actually. I've got a couple of pictures that you can.
Oh, cool. Can you dig us a couple out?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was awesome. Yeah.
But it was really
You
good
loved
fun.
it. You were laughing the whole time.
Oh, it was great
fun.
And that's how hazing should be done.
Yeah, in good spirit.
It wasn't really gross. It wasn't dangerous.
No one got hurt.
No one got
hurt.
It was the middle of the day. I went and washed my hair afterwards. Like, it was totally fine.
Yeah, it wasn't embarrassing.
No. It was really fun. It was really fun for me, and I think it was really fun for the guys who did it.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, that shit bonds you. Like, that's why you kind of go through these hazing things, don't you? Like,
totally.
I felt like I could have a chat with them a lot more afterwards.
Breaks
we had
down
such
barriers.
a laugh over it.
Yeah.
That it, like, I felt you really do come out the other side of that feeling like you're, one of us now.
Yeah, you've been inducted.
Yeah, totally. It was a really good time. And I think there were a couple of other people who did it the same day as well.
Yeah, there were. Yeah. There's normally half a dozen. A decent sized bike rally, you get quite a few.
But again, I think that's going out of fashion.
Yep.
Because I haven't been to a rally really since then. And seen that happen.
No, although we haven't been to many rallies.
That's true.
So that might still be alive and well.
Thing.
And God knows what it's like in other countries. It may not even be a thing
right.
there.
Yeah.
Mine was much the same. It was. I think it was like the second or third rally I went to because I didn't know anybody the first couple of times, and just I was battered, absolutely wasted in the middle of the afternoon, and got a load of shit dumped over me. Same stuff. And then I didn't wash it off, and I slept in it. I was minging.
I did wash mine off, and I had to make you wash some of my shit off because it got on you, and you were like, "Yeah, whatever, I'll just go to bed." And I was like, "We fucking won't."
Go wash that shit
so hot,
off.
and you were like covered in milk and eggs, and I was like, "Head under sink now."
No. I remember something from that actually. You got done. You did the whole rally version thing. You were all covered from head to toe in shit, and you walked back to the ladies' room. Because the other good thing about the Rebel Rally was it's on a scout camp
they had a
site.
proper
so you have showers.
bathroom,
so a shower block there. So you went back to the shower block and bathroom block. I think a lady said to you that it was horrible what they were doing to you, and she was absolutely disgusted to see that.
She was very concerned for my well-being.
Yeah.
And I was laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's cool. And she's like, I can't believe that they would do that to you.
Those horrible men.
Those horrible men took advantage of you or whatever. I was like, no, they didn't. 100% consent. I think I fucking brought it up.
Yeah.
And it was a good laugh.
And the guys even asked me, our friends are awesome.
Yeah.
They don't want to upset anybody or hurt anybody. And when Lee wasn't around, they came over to me knowing that we were going to do this and said, should we go easy on her? We don't want to, with her being a lady, we don't want to overstep the mark or anything. And I'd already said to you, do you want like the same as everybody else gets? Yeah. And you said, fuck yeah. I want the same thing. I don't want to get like half measures because I'm a lady or something. I want the full-on experience.
Do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't dangerous. It was a good time. That was a good rally. I had a great time at
that rally. That was a brilliant rally, yeah. I do miss a lot of the silly games. The last one I went to that had a lot of silly games was the Soggy Moggy, which I think is still going.
The Matt Black Rat Spring Meet. They had some silly games.
They did.
And fair play to them if any of you guys are watching out there, because that's a tiny rally. We're talking about what, 50 people?
Oh no, I'd say there's more than that. There's always 3 times as many as you think. But it's a very small venue.
It's a tiny venue and not a lot of people, and they do a great job of putting on.
They're brilliant.
They got these little motorized wheelchair things and racing them around, so props to them for doing that. Yeah,
the Matt Black Rat guys lay on a really good rally. With what they've got to work with, it's amazing. And that's the thing that I really like. That's another important point about rallies, is the small ones I prefer. With a small rally, a really small rally, it's so much friendlier. You're going to see the same person 10 times over that weekend. You get to know everybody if you're inclined to do so, and it's really good. Matt Black one is pretty damn great, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of the draw for a rally for me is the ride there.
Yep.
And the ride home. And the ride around.
Yeah.
Hopefully in an area that we haven't been to before.
It's pretty great.
Yeah,
it's pretty great. We normally take, I mean, we set off, if the rally is, everybody's saying how far is the rally from where we live in Nottingham, and you look at it on a map and it's about 150 miles. And they're like, oh, you'll be there in a couple of days, in a couple of hours. And we're like, no, we'll be there in about 7 hours. Because we really max out the ride there.
Yeah.
We really max out the ride back unless we're really ragged, and then we just straight line it.
Yeah.
And on the Saturday, we go out and take anybody that wants to come with us. We go on a long ride out, a really long ride out. That's actually a thing that we do like to come back for that we've not mentioned, is they often give trophies out.
Oh yeah, there's usually a bike awards show, isn't there?
Yeah, so we try to win best wrap, obviously, but you get like best custom, best chop, best paint.
My bike never wins anything.
Yeah, you're poor old
fucking
boy.
ugly.
You won best ladies one year.
Not on this bike. That was on
No?
the CB.
Oh no!
This poor bike hasn't won anything, and she's such a good bike.
Such a good bike.
Someday.
If you've got the chance to do this, if you're going to your first bike rally and you want to get to meet people, I was really lucky on my first one. Didn't know anybody. I'm shit at walking up to people and just making up conversation on the spot. And a very nice lady who we still keep in touch with, called Indian Sarah, used to have a little market stall, and she took me in, and basically I put a chair in her stall, and there was a constant flow of people that would sort of meander in, and they'd stop and chat to Sarah, and I'd get drawn into the conversation. And that was brilliant. I came out knowing so many people, and she knew a lot of the faces as well. So she could go, oh, this is so-and-so, he's coming, and tell me a little bit about him. And that'd be a door opener for me. And that was really, really good.
Did you also, have sold stickers at rallies for ages as well?
I have,
Did that connect you with other people or make your rally experience more fun?
Yeah, it does. If you can make if it's this kind of vibe at the rally, and you can make something at home and take it with you to sell it, whether it's fucking cupcakes or key rings or fucking badges, or in my case stickers, and open up your own little stall. That's
and
a great
by little
way.
stall, he means he put a piece of cardboard on his back with the stickers that said £1 each and walked around.
Yeah, that was it.
We're not talking about renting a stall at the rallies. You say this like you're some fucking entrepreneur. That's not what happens.
I'm not even the guy with the trench coat.
No, you just stuck it on your back like a lazy fucker.
Yeah, we walked around the rally, and he's like, why is there someone staring at the back of your coat like this? So, oh, you've got the shop open again. Yeah. He'll pick something in a minute.
But I think I like that.
It's great.
And actually having it on your person and allowing you to walk around.
It's great.
We actually have had some cool chats with people.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Off the back of that.
Really, really brilliant. It's the best thing you can do. I do it all of them. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our sort of rallying experience. There's one rally every year that we will not miss. Well, we've had to miss it this last year. Fuck it. But
we didn't miss it. It was cancelled. That's different. We don't miss it.
No,
it missed itself.
Come hell or high water, we're going.
We go. Yeah.
Where are we going?
To the R&S, baby.
The Rat and Survival Bike Rally.
Yeah.
That is the one. It's got a vibe to it that's so good.
It's really unique vibe.
Really, really unique vibe.
Really chilled. Yeah. Really inclusive.
Yeah.
Really accepting. It's another great rally to go to if you're a learner. Because anyone who arrives on an L plate is really welcomed with open arms, because all of us want learners to be there. We
want new
riders
people,
to be there.
We're dying out. We need new people.
It's like one of the least intimidating experiences, because I think it's a group of people who are really excited about new people coming, rather than it being like, hey, this is our club, what are you doing here, or kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of lucky that the Rat and Survival bike thing is really quite fringe. We're the sort of punks of the bikes world and the bike scene. And I've found in life in general, those people, even if they're not into bikes, if they are literally punks on the street, I've always had a really good time and found them really accepting of other people that aren't necessarily into their thing.
Yeah.
And I've known people that have gone to it and come over to me and said, I'm having a great time here. I thought that I came on my shiny 125 that I got for Christmas. They'd come along and said, it's been such a great vibe here, and I've come and shown up on this thing, and it's been fun. It's
great
been
big
brilliant.
fire. But there's a nice big bonfire at the RNS, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there are some sites... And the sites themselves are difficult to get in this country. And there are plenty of places where they just don't. They've had bad experiences with fires or something. They can't put them on. It's not the fault of the people that are running the bike rally. It'll be coming down to site management. But generally, other than the Matte Black Rat, if there's no fire, then that was one of the first things that was putting me off back in the day. Because that's another great place to meet people and hang out. Sit by the fire, constant turnover of people. You'll meet loads of people. Meet loads of people if it's a good vibe. Yes, we go to the Rat and Survival, and because our sort of Rat family all go there.
Yeah.
And that's what we go for. It's just a family reunion to us. It's the best rally ever. Nick, who puts it on, and Steph, who used to put it on before him, do a brilliant job.
The show is awesome. The awards for the bikes are funny and hilarious.
None of it's serious. It's
great.
just fun. And Nick rips the piss out of people over the mic when he's doing the awards and stuff.
Awesome.
And we rip the piss out of him. And it's all in great spirits. And they have a raffle where he gives away all kinds of crazy stuff that goes on forever.
Get to go on a ride out, get a cup of coffee on the Saturday morning with our little Rat pack of family, and it's a great time. Even though I know it's like our friends and our family, and we get to see all of the people we know and chat to them. But even above and beyond that, there's something about a rally or a gathering of any group of people where it's so hard to put your finger on what makes up the vibe. Yeah. Because I will say, we went to Harbach a few years ago, which is a rat bike rally in Germany, really small. But I'll say that it had the same vibe. Yeah. It just felt like a really safe, happy, like coming home feeling. Yeah. And there's something about rallies that I think when it comes down to it, the ones I want to go to and the ones I don't are so much largely dictated by that vibe. Yeah. And even though we've broken down like, okay, there's silly games, or there's better music or worse music, or the site's cool or it isn't, or there's a fire or there isn't. Like, those are all those components. But at the end of the day, like, good rallies have good vibes. And where you just go there and you feel like you can settle in, be yourself, enjoy lots of other bikes, being around the noise of bikes, being around people, and it's just like a really awesome atmosphere. And that I feel like is really hard to find.
I've been to a bunch over the years, and some of them had that, some of them didn't, and I could never really put my finger on it. It was just a feeling. It was just there. It was like ever present. And I think, it's varied a lot. And some of them, you get to Saturday afternoon and go, oh, fuck it, I'm going home. Yeah. You know, it's just I'm not feeling it.
And to me, my bike is always there at the rally. And what happens, I start to get this itch of like, I'd rather be riding than be here. And if that happens, then the vibe's not
on. I like that voice. Is that the voice? So it's not the little thing on your shoulder.
It's like, don't you want to go riding instead? What is that? That is not what I did.
I went a bit Yoda. I want to go
Yoda. You must go.
Give yourself to the mountain.
What is this about? That is not what my internal monologue sounds like at all.
It should be. It's better.
Okay, great. It's going to be like that now. I'm going to think of that and have some weird squirrel voice in my head every time it happens.
Yeah, whenever you're reading, you like sitting reading a book. Yeah, to Pride and Prejudice. Oh, Mr. Darcy, you're so handsome.
You're so weird. Why did I marry you? Oh, God.
Why?
That's another voice that happens. don't you want to leave Nate here and just
Just
ride
fuck
him on
off.
your bike?" And then I do, and then
It's better.
it's better. It was the right choice.
Most of my friends hear that voice at some point.
If I hear the voice that says that riding would be more fun than being at the rally, I know the vibe's not right.
So that brings us on to the unique experience that you had. When was it? 2019? 2018? 2016? 1904? When the fuck was it?
I think it was probably 2015, 2016. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Maybe 2016.
Yeah, and you heard about the ladies only bike rally.
Yeah, so that's a really, I mean, this is a whole nother video, but it is difficult to find other female riders just to chat to and be friends with and maybe go for a ride on and talk about riding stuff that's individual to women. I mean, women have different and unique experiences and needs when it comes to riding motorcycles. We have to overcome different challenges. Bikes are never short enough. Grips are always too big, and I wanted to find a group of other women to talk to about this kind of stuff. There's not a big enough population where you're going to sit by the fire and have 4 or 5 girls that you can chat to about like your experiences and stuff like that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Plus, I think at a lot of events where there's a lot of men, girls out there who are watching this, I think will know what I'm talking about. It's a different experience when you're just with women. It kind of changes the dynamic.
Right.
And you get a lot more genuine like connection to people because they're not in a man's world.
Ah, I see.
They're not doing something that is intrinsically in a man's world.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is subtle, and I totally am guilty of it. A lot of it is just how society tells us to be and what happens. But it's really cool when you can find unique experiences that are just women that you can connect to and relate to them in a contained space where there just aren't any guys around. I think it is a bit different. It just is a bit different.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of the guys don't understand the shit I'm talking about because you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to worry about wanting to buy a new motorcycle and how tall it's going to be.
No.
Most of the male population is going to fit on most motorcycles without any problem.
The average guy.
So if I'm going to go and sit and talk to you and what's your advice and not necessarily grill you, but have a chat as you do at rallies.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me anything.
No.
Like, that's not a two-way conversation because your experience is so different than mine.
Right, yeah.
So it's a bit like, I'm not even going to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
And you can't understand what it feels like to be doing something like riding a motorcycle and be the minority.
Yeah.
So we can't really have, some guys are awesome and want to hear that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's not, you're not meeting on the same plane.
No.
You're sort of discussing it from different perspectives rather than I wanted to go to a rally and like connect with my people who were like me and who could understand, and we could have a conversation about. I could hear what were their experiences and share ideas and what do they do when this happens and what kind of boots do they wear, whatever. And also just like let my hair down with a bunch of girls. Yeah. Which is a bit of a different experience. Yeah. It just is. I have also experienced like meeting another woman at a rally where there's loads of guys, normal thing, versus meeting that same woman at a female-only event. Really? You can meet very different versions of the same person.
Really? That's what I was sort of driving at. Is that the what
you just fucking relaxed, man. And I wanted to find that in the bike community, because I'm largely talking about experiences that I've had in other groups of women and other groups of men and the difference and the whatever. But I really wanted to find that in the bike world specifically. Yeah,
so you could bring that together with your hobby.
Yeah, and meet some girls and learn some stuff and ride with them and get that kind of connection. Yeah. Didn't work out that way.
So how was this all-female bike rally?
Disappointing.
Really?
Disappointed! I was so disappointed. It was in Wales. It was a really cool site. It was on like a private piece of land with the oldie worldy little like farmhouse on it and
Wales
all this
is
stuff.
stunning.
It was
Wales
beautiful
is
view. It was right on the edge of the Beacons. It was a gorgeous place. Ticket prices were expensive. I thought it was going to be more expensive because it was going to be small, and I was like, fair enough. It's
You
the
wanted to
first
support
year.
it, yeah.
Like if there's only 10 of us there, like it's obviously going to cost more. For us to be
Whatever.
there.
Yeah, sometimes you got to suck it up to get something going.
And I was really disappointed, and I'm talking about my experience because I don't want to put off any other woman who is out there thinking of doing something like this.
That's a really good point.
Because was it terrible? Was anybody mean to me? Did it go really badly? No, not at all. It wasn't a abrasively bad experience. Everyone was really nice. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and it didn't tick the box that I was hoping to get ticked. So I just want to say that because if one of the 42 people who watch these things is a girl thinking about going to the Babes Ride Out rallies or the VC London girls rallies, like, and you're thinking about it, go. Because the worst thing that will happen is you'll spend a couple of quid, you'll go for a weekend, you'll walk away and say that wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what happened for me.
Yeah, you didn't come home in rage mode, calling them all the bastards. That didn't happen. You came back and said it wasn't for you.
Wasn't
you were
what I was
disappointed,
hoping for, yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah. I think for me it felt like, I mean, what was I just talking about a minute ago? Wanting to go to a place with a bunch of other girls that I could relax, that I could let my hair down, that I could have genuine conversations and connections with, that was a chilled out, good vibe, the clutch good vibe moment, and have that with women instead of having that with men and women.
Yeah.
That didn't happen for me.
No.
The vibe was not on point, and it was not chilled.
Ugh.
So for me, it was like, it was very, very, very heavily branded and sponsored. That's the first thing that I will say, is that there was like Triumph had bikes there and a display, which I thought was really weird.
That is weird.
It was sponsored by a certain beer company, so all of the beer that was there was that, it was like number 9 or something in cans. There was a lot of Vans shit going on. And I know that that's a weird crossover that happens in the female motorcycling world, is skateboarding and motorcycling tend to have this weird crossover moment.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
They have a half pipe there now. They did not mind when I went, but they now have a half pipe at the bike rally. Yeah.
Why would you put skateboard and motorcycle?
Because I think it's like, you know, girls, alternative girls doing shit that, you know, boys do, and now girls are doing it. And,
yeah.
and I get that, but I went to a bike rally, pal.
Yeah, not skateboarding festival.
I don't skateboard. Like, vans for me, I have no use for vans.
Well, you wouldn't ride in vans?
No.
Why wouldn't you ride
For me,
vans?
no. Vans are a hard no on the riding. I feel like my toes would not be very grateful for that. So, you know, there was like Stetson presence there, and there was a lot of Instagram like presence, right? So I think there was like signs up on where the bathrooms were, where it was all outside camping, and then there was like a little indoor area, which is where they had the music for the night and stuff like that, which was really cool. And there were signs on there what hashtags to use when you were posting your stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and it felt very produced.
Really?
It felt really, really produced. And another cool thing about rallies, which I think you will agree, is most of the time, because they're on private land, in England it's illegal to ride on public roads without your helmet on.
Yeah.
But on private land, generally speaking, you can do that.
Yeah, do what you want.
At a rally, it's really fun to even just ride from the tent to the bathroom on your bike without your lid on.
Yeah, you trundle over slowly,
and or like sometimes there's an adjoining field, you can have a bit of a piss about in the field.
Yeah.
And I am talking slowly. And I was there on my rat bike, so of course all of the other bikes were shiny, which is not a problem for me at all.
No.
That was not part of my disappointed moment. But a lot of the girls were interested in my bike.
Yeah, it was unusual looking.
Which I actually thought was really cool. Like, this is an opportunity for me to connect. Okay, maybe this is my way in.
Yeah.
Girls are going to see my weird bike. They're going to come over and talk to me. I can meet them and chat with them. Like,
Rats are great for that.
Super down for that. That's awesome. And because it's a rat, I was like, you want to ride it?
Yeah.
Like, fucking go for it. What's the worst you're going to do? We're in a field. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you're going to dump it. And it's going to be fine. Because you can't get up to more than 15 miles an hour in this lumpy ass field. The bike is going to be, everybody's going to be fine. Go for it.
Yeah.
And we got in a shit ton of trouble for that.
Fuck.
Because of, I don't know, they gave me some bullshit response about health and safety, and they made me put my lid on.
Did they let you carry on ragging it around?
Well, I was fucked off with it at that point, to be honest with you. I just got yelled at by mom and dad for riding slowly through and having a laugh with a bunch of girls.
Yeah, which is what you do at a rally.
Which I was kind of like, why though?
Yeah.
And then when they did have silly
and you weren't
games,
being an asshole.
I was not being an asshole. It was the first day when we got there. It was like right after we got there. Nobody was being an asshole. The other girls who were riding it weren't being.
Just pootling around.
Yeah, literally just like up and down because it was like an experience, you know. A lot of them were on Harleys, a lot of them were on Sportsters.
Yeah.
And I show up on a CB500 weird fucking rat bike with bones on it, and they just wanted to have a go. So
yeah. Which is what you do a lot of at rallies, in my experience, and everyone's different, but we're always bike swapping. So your mate shows up on something cool, you go, give us a go on that, Dave, and he's like, yeah, go on. And you trundle up and you trundle back and go, yeah, that's weird, thanks for letting me have a go.
100%. That's what was happening, was that exact situation. And it was really, we were having a laugh about it. They were coming back being like, I don't know how the fuck you ride this. It's like, has no brakes, and oh my God, and it was very funny. And we got yelled at for that, and then when they did have silly games, and they did slow race, and we had to wear our helmets.
For a slow race.
For a slow race in a field.
Oh, God.
And there were like maybe 3 or 4 professional photographers. Like long lens camera.
Wow.
With the back, the little side
with gear and
It felt more like an event to attend. And to be present at.
And to be seen at.
And to be seen at, rather than really loving biking.
Yeah.
And wanting to go and be with a bunch of other people who really loved biking.
Yeah. Because
if you love riding motorcycles, you know that riding around in a field is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And if someone's not being a dick about it, you're not going to take that away from them.
No.
So it felt much more like that than it felt like a genuine like soul love.
Yeah.
Of bringing people together. And since then, that rally has gone on to do things like you can go to that rally and rent glamping pods.
Right.
Or like teepees.
It's feeling very corporate. Did it have a corporate feel?
It is. So Babes Ride Out, which is the sort of like group that did it, they're originally from California, from the Joshua Tree area. So they also have Babes Ride Out rallies out there in California. And I've heard much better things about them there.
All depends who's running it.
But it's the same girls running it, so it's difficult because if someone reports that it's good or bad, that's ultimately a completely subjective opinion.
Totally subjective.
So if someone goes to the Babes Ride Out in Joshua Tree and thinks it's awesome, then maybe they would have really liked the one in Wales.
Yeah, they might well do. Yeah.
It just wasn't my vibe. Now, I did meet 2 girls there who I really liked and who I got on with really well, so it wasn't a washout for me. And at the end of the day, it was still a good experience for me. I don't regret it. I would do it again. Yeah. Because I learned something about myself and what I value and what I want out of, my experiences. But it didn't feel real, It felt very curated. One of the best things about going to a rally, and we talked about this about going on tour, is I just turned my phone off.
Yeah. I don't bother with my phone at all.
There's so many phones. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
you're just old.
Maybe.
If you go to an event and don't scroll your phone the entire time you're there, I think it means you're kind of old.
Yeah, and if I didn't take 400 pictures, did I even go, right?
Yeah. If you can't show people that you had the most
and
amazing
I looked like
time.
hell. I fell out of my tent halfway out in the morning, had a cup of coffee with my legs still in my tent. My hair's a mess, and I'm looking around.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're all getting ready.
Yeah.
And felt a bit odd about that. I've seen some other rallies that look cool. There's the Sheila's Shakedown in Australia that looks really ace. And I'd love to go to one. I'd love to find a group. I know there's also the WIMA rallies, which I think is something that I want to look into, which is the Women's International Motorcycling Association.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
And I'm just kind of still learning about this stuff, and then COVID happened and haven't really had a chance to experience some of that. And they seem a bit more down to earth, a bit more real life, actually really love motorcycling. They do a rally every year in different locations globally, depending on who's hosting it that year. But that was not a great experience.
What a shame. What a shame. It could have been something really amazing, but
it was such a cool venue. And it was right in the Beacons. And I spent pretty much the entire day on Saturday on a ride.
Yeah, you just got up and pissed off, didn't you?
I waited for a bit in the morning and was like, is anything gonna happen?
Fuck do I do now?
And everyone's rolling their bikes off the trailers, and I'm like, oh.
Didn't one of them have dust on it?
Yeah. Like dust in places where you'd have to touch the bike in order to ride it. Like the clutch lever was dusty. And you're like,
The seat's kind of dusty.
That's not like a bit of shit on the tank that, that happens. It was like, no.
Our bikes are covered in shit.
Yeah.
But that's because they've been ridden through a lot of shit.
Clear.
Yeah, exactly. All the bits. I've always said this, when you're walking
feet,
around.
ass, heads, And that's cool. There are show bikes, like if you've got a really whacked out show bike that you're bringing to a rally, like cool, I want to see it. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. It was just too many of those things all put together.
So you'll not be going back?
I'll not be going back. Not for me. But if it's for you, go. Because the worst thing that happened is I walked away from it after having a fucking awesome ride in Wales for a whole day. Yeah. And just sort of said to myself, thanks very much, guys, not for me. Like, that was the worst thing. So
I feel like wherever we go, I think wherever either of us goes, even if it's not the experience that we wanted, we come away with something.
It was an experience.
Yeah, it was. You only get one spin of the wheel.
Something.
Go and
I learned something about myself. I experienced something. I knew more leaving than I did going in.
Should we leave it there then, my lovely? Yeah. If you're thinking of going to a bike rally, fucking go. They're awesome. You'll have a great time there. If you've never been to one before, please go. Because they need people going to them. They are good fun. We don't want to take anything away from them. They're great. They really are. And I've had a lot of good times at them. So maybe we'll see you at one. Maybe you'll come to the Rat and Survival one year and have a beer with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be really awesome.
If anyone comes to the Rat and Survival based on this YouTube video that doesn't count our friends who already go, I will personally buy you a beer.
Yeah.
So that's
absolutely.
My promise.
Hell yeah. So that's it then, I think. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.